Ndị be anyị ekene m unu. Asị m nke onye chiri nya zere. Ihe a bụ Ada Igbo ka ị na-anụ olu ya na Igbo Media n'ụbọchị nke taa. N'Igbo Media anyị na-ewetara unu ọtụtụ ozi gbasara Biafra land maka ihe na-eme n'ala Igbo na mba ndị ọzọ. Ozi nke ụbọchị nke taa si n'aka Deputy Prime Minister Ngozi Orabueze. Otu o si ewetara anyị ọtụtụ ozi gbasara Prime Minister Simon Ekpa na ọtụtụ ihe ndị ọzọ ha na-emegasị na Finland iji wee mee ka this our Biafran struggle ka ọ bụrụ ihe nwere isi. Biko ọ bụrụ na ụbọchị tata bụ izi na-esonyere anyị n'iru akwụkwọ, biko echefuna itinyere anyị aka n'iru akwụkwọ, gwakwa anyị ihe iche na comment section and gbasakwa ozi a ka o zuo ụmụnne anyị nọ ebe dị iche iche arụ. Ngwa gere ya ka ọ ha n'uju.
Brought in by the Nigerian state, wearing military and police uniform with AK-47, killing our people, kidnapping our people, locking them up in different DSS dungeons, in cells across Nigeria and across Biafra land. Killing them, harvesting their organs, raping our women, burning our homes, destroying our farms, economically strangulating Biafrans. We thank you for standing up at this time. With the declaration of the United States of Biafra on November 29th, 2024 in Lahti, Finland, after over 50 million Biafrans have voted to exit Nigeria through a self-referendum, and after over 1,000 Biafrans converged in Lahti, Finland from across the world to vote and declare our independence, we thank our United States of Biafra military for continuing to defend our land today. Thank you so much for what you do. I thank all the heads of missions across the world that are propagating Biafra, propagating our mission, propagating what we do as a big people. I thank you so much. I thank all the 40 state governors in Biafra land with your commissioners that are working day and night to ensure that your states are fully protected from the reintegrated terrorists, the reintegrated Fulani terrorists sent in by the Nigerian state in Biafra land. Thank you so much for what you do every day. I thank all the stakeholders. I thank all our allies. Thank all our lobbyists. All the people that are helping us to build one of the best nations in the world, which is already in motion. I thank you all for what you do. Fellow Biafrans, patriots and friends of freedom, happy 9-month independence anniversary today. Today marks our 9th month independence. I speak to you today on behalf of our government, our leader, our Prime Minister, and our proud people, the proud people of Biafra, the proud people of the United States of Biafra. This is a moment that demands truth, courage, and unity. In recent months, the United States of Biafra has endured some of the most aggressive assaults on our dignity and our very right to exist. Yet, at the same time, we have secured some of the most remarkable victories in defending our sovereignty. Our enemies exposed. The Nigerian regime has been exposed before the world, not through our words or what we do, but through the verdict of well-constituted courts in different countries across the world. A Canadian court has ruled that Nigeria's ruling class and their political parties meets the definition of terrorists, as they were deeply implicated in acts of political violence, subversion of democracy, democracy and electoral bloodshed, inflicting harm and terror on Nigerians and Biafrans. A Kenyan court has condemned Nigeria's criminal abduction of our leader, NNAMDI KANU, who was renditioned from Kenya to Nigeria. Right in our homeland, the High Court in Enugu has affirmed our lawful right to independence. There was also the discharge and acquittal of 4 innocent Biafrans by the Finnish authorities, despite Finland's fishing expedition on behalf of the Nigerian government. Our 4 Biafran citizens were eventually set free after being illegally detained by the Finnish authorities. The very same so-called evidence used to justify their arrest was later dismissed as baseless, and the case was dropped. Yet, these Biafrans were unjustly held for a month under conditions tantamount to solitary confinement by the Finland government. These are not opinions. They prove that Nigeria's leadership functions as a terror entity, trampling on human rights, violating international law, and facilitating transnational repression. Just like Michael Rubin, who talked on the video before I started. We all listened to him. He talked about the criminality, the genocide, the aggression of the Nigerian state to Biafran people. On the basis of the Canadian court verdict, we now declare that all political parties and individuals representing Nigeria within Biafra territory are proscribed as terrorist organizations. These include the APC, PDP, ABGA, Labour Party, AAC, NPP, and any other parties or groups that act under Nigeria authority. They are all united in one mission: to kill Biafrans, to suppress our freedom, and to protect the interests of the Nigerian terror regime. From this day forward, they are recognized as agents of terror in our land. And the Biafra people must treat them as such, because no election organized by any terrorist entity will ever be permitted in our land. I repeat, no election organized by any terrorist entity, which includes all the current Nigerian political parties that have been labeled, that have been branded as terrorists, will ever be permitted in Biafra land. Finland's complicity and the unjust detention of our Prime Minister. Our work in exposing the enemies of Biafra has also led to Finland's own complicity against our nation by siding with Nigeria in the persecution of our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Finland has placed itself on the wrong side of history. We remain confident that when September comes, which is next week, the truth will prevail and His Excellency Simon Ekpa will walk free. Because it is clear to the world that it is not Biafra leaders who should be standing trial, but the Nigerian authorities themselves for war crimes and for terrorism. The current Finnish government has failed systematically, leading to the unjust detention of our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. The actions of the Finnish leadership, headed by Alexander Stubb and Petteri Orpo, undermine the genuine efforts of Finnish institutions. The kidnapping of His Excellency Simon Ekpa contradicts every meaningful contribution Finland has sought to make in global affairs. The system in Finland subjects innocent citizens to psychological torture, trapped in endless cycles of deliberate and shambolic court processes that have no basis in law, just like they did to innocent Biafrans living in Finland. His Excellency Simon Ekpa submitted over 200 pages documenting the plight of Biafrans to the office of former Finnish President Tarja Halonen. The current Finland President, Alexander Stubb, has information about the subjugation of Biafrans in the hand of the current Nigerian government. Yet, today, our Prime Minister languishes in unjust incarceration by the Finnish government headed by Alexander Stubb. On August 24, 2025, the Finland Minister of Interior, Mari Rantanen, wrote on Twitter, "As long as the country is up to its ears in debt and services for its own citizens are lagging, we cannot virtue signal and daydream everywhere." Yet, while she speaks of debt and domestic struggles, her government, headed by Alexander Stubb, presides over the unjust detention of our Prime Minister. What greater hypocrisy over the unjust detention of our Prime Minister? What greater hypocrisy can there be than a government that claims it cannot afford the virtue signal, yet has all the resources to kidnap, suppress, and persecute the innocent? Internal enemies. Certain individuals have long been used to derail the full protection of our land. The Nigerian state has deliberately manipulated Biafrans to turn against one another. Yet, through transparency in our government, we have exposed the regime's tactics of using compromised Biafrans against their own people. But the people of Biafra are no longer deceived. We can read between the lines. We know that we have only one legitimate government, which is the United States of Biafra government that was declared in Latin Finland on November 29, 2024, led by my humble self, Dr. Ngozi Orobweze, who is a surrogate to the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. And in this final push to safeguard our sovereignty and territorial integrity, unity is our greatest weapon. Our common enemy is clear. The reintegrated terrorists hired by the Nigerian state, wearing Nigerian military and police uniform, giving AK-47, shipped to Biafra land to arrest, kill, maim innocent Biafrans. These are common enemies. The illegitimate and the legitimized governors of the Southeast and South, collaborating with the Nigerian forces to kill our people, to give them lands, acres of lands, where they occupy, to unleash mayhem on our people. The corrupt politicians and killer squads, such as Operation Udogachi, Ebuka Obi, Chamber, so-called special forces, the Fulani militias, these are the common enemies that are not allowed in Biafra land. We will use everything legally allowed to ensure they leave our land. United States of Biafra is a sovereign nation. is an independent nation. We do not want terrorists in our land. These enemies, they slaughter our people, rape our women, harvest their organs, destroy our homes, destroy our farmlands in a campaign of systemic genocide and economic sabotage. We must protect our land. We must protect our people. Despite these attacks, the United States of Biafra has moved forward with purpose. We've achieved a lot of legal victories for the Biafran people. We now have several decisive international rulings that confirm Nigeria's crime and affirm our right to independence. These international court rulings have declared Nigeria as a terrorist state, not the United States of Biafra. Our diplomatic reach. We now have several decisive international rulings. We have expanded our voice to parliaments, human rights groups, and international media outlets worldwide. Many of them support the United States of Biafra. Many of them support our independence. Many of them support us to protect our land from the reintegrated terrorists brought in by Nigerian government. Many of them are backing up what we are doing by the seconds, by the minutes, by the weeks, and by the months. I want to use this opportunity to thank them. Humanitarian relief. We have delivered food, medicine, and aid to our people in the 40 states of Biafra. Despite Nigeria's attempts to starve us into submission, to brand millions of innocent Biafrans worldwide, like myself, as terrorist financiers, and to pressure financial institutions across the globe into blocking Biafrans from carrying out legitimate transactions. We've extended support to millions of Biafrans whose breadwinners have been killed or imprisoned by the Nigerian state. Many of them are locked up in Nigerian DSS dungeons, in police custodies, in military dungeons across Nigeria and Biafra land. We must help the orphans they left behind. We must help their families, their children that are dropped out of school. We must help their wives, their husbands, whose breadwinners have been arrested by the Nigerian state and locked up in different cells across Nigeria and in Biafra land. That is why we do our fundraisers to help these innocent Biafrans whom the Nigerian state continue to kill and subject their breadwinners into hardship. That is why we do the fundraisers we do, to help these people so they don't die, to help our family members and to build our new nation. We will continue to do that. No one can do that for us except ourselves. Countless communities in Biafran land have been displaced by the Nigerian state. Their homes have been burned. Their families have been devastated by the regime's brutality. We must continue to help these people. We must continue to build these people. We must continue to help our loved ones, whom the Nigerian state continue to kill their breadwinners. The global awareness through the United States of Biafra satellite radio, our media campaigns, and the dedicated efforts of our lobbyists, the voice of Biafra is now being heard on every continent. Diplomatic mission. In addition to our headquarters in Washington, D.C., the United States of Biafra has registered and established diplomatic missions across the world. We continue to expand this network, and Biafrans will be regularly updated as our heads of mission work diligently in service to our nation and its people. As a newly restored nation, one of our most critical steps towards international recognition is the ceaseless pursuit of global diplomatic engagements. We provide consular services to Biafrans and offer guidance to all those interested in Biafra, ensuring that no Biafran is left without protection. At the same time, we affirm that the United States of Biafra is a reliable and trustworthy partner in diplomatic engagement worldwide. And we thank those countries that have been reaching out to the United States of Biafra government for partnership in different areas. Thank you so much. IHL trainings. Our armed forces and government officials have been actively participating in courses and trainings on international humanitarian law to ensure that discipline in our self-defense and collective defense is maintained in line with international best practices. This reaffirms our uncompromising stance that no criminal action or war crime will ever be tolerated in our land under the guise of fighting for Biafra. While in reality they are serving the terrorist regime of Nigeria in its attempt to demonize our nation. Discipline remains the cornerstone of all we do. We remain open and committed to working with human rights organizations and other institutions that provide updated courses and trainings in IHL. All the United States of Biafra military undergoes international humanitarian law trainings. This is very important to me. This is very important to our government. This is very important to the United States of Biafra government. We cannot allow recklessness to be the bane of our military. The unity of purpose. The Biafra people stand more united today than ever before. Rejecting all attempts to divide us by the Nigerian state, who uses the divide and conquer tactics. We have only one legitimate government, the government of the United States of Biafra, headed by my humble self at this time, until our leaders join us. Anyone who does not stand with this government is, by choice, or by compromise standing with the Nigerian regime. We will treat that person as a Nigerian person, as a Nigerian terrorist person. The United States of Biafra currency. We are currently in the process of producing a new Bank of Biafra series of currency notes for both domestic and international use. The new currency denominated in Ejema will officially replace the Biafra pounds last issued by the Republic of Biafra. These notes will incorporate the most advanced anti-counterfeiting technologies and will be printed by one of the world's leading security companies, printing companies. And I want to use this opportunity to thank this printing company that has offered to assist this new nation in the printing of our currency. The official date of issuance and the venue for the special launch ceremony will be announced in due course. The Biafra currency will soon be in use across our land, and as history shows, our good money will always drive away the bad money. The plight of Biafrans will not be ignored. Although some may deliberately ignore the plight of the Biafran people, and others may simply be unaware, Biafrans will continue to advance on the path of recognition and nation building. The application and issuance of our Biafra national ID cards are currently ongoing, and we are in the process of finalizing our Biafra international passport, which will enable Biafrans to travel to countries that recognize our nation. And I want to use this opportunity to thank those countries you know yourself that have already shown interest in the recognition of the United States of Biafra and ready to welcome the first batch of the United States of Biafra citizens that will visit your nation. Thank you so much. In addition, work is also on the way to provide the Biafra driver's license. Our next steps. We will continue to strengthen stability and peace within our polity, which we have achieved to a very high degree. We'll continue to deepen alliances with nations across the world and ensure that every Biafran is protected wherever they may be. Above all, we will keep mobilizing Biafrans worldwide to speak with one united voice for justice, for freedom, for equity, for fairness, for the United States of Biafra. Declaration to Nigeria and its allies. The government of the United States of Biafra hereby issues the following demands. End of occupation. Nigeria must immediately cease its illegal occupation of Biafra land and withdraw all their security apparatus from our territory. Just like Michael Rubin said, Nigeria.
Ndị be anyị ngwadalụ nne kunu si wene sole na n'ilu akwụkwọ na Igbo media beba si wene wetara nya bụ ozi. Gịnị ka iwere kwubasịta maka ihe ndị anyị na-ewetara n'ụbọchị nke taa? Kapara ketụsa ya bụ ozi ka ọ rute ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ n'ebe dị iche iche ntị maka ọ sị ọ nụrụ si ma gịnị ya ka ala nwanne ya. Ngwanụ ka emesịa na ụmụnne m.